We often talk about women's intuition, like it's some sort of magical power that women just know or can sense danger in other people. And in truth, I think that there is something to this, but unfortunately, too often, women are taught and conditioned not to listen to that gut instinct, to question it, to wonder if they're being too sensitive or if they're overreacting. Today, I want to share a Reddit story that I came across, and just want to say that the reason I often share Reddit stories or Reddit posts is because they remind me of the types of things that I see in practice. But I can't share with you what my clients tell me exactly because of confidentiality. It just wouldn't be right. So I keep what my clients are sharing with me private, but when I see Reddit stories that almost mirror the types of things that I see in practice, I often bring them to the internet to discuss for that reason. So we just want you to understand that every time I am bringing up a Reddit story, I promise you that I have seen at least one, if not many multiple dozens of cases that are very similar to this. So with all that being said, and before we get into the story, if you're new here, my name is Tanya and I'm a family lawyer and mediator. And on this channel, I like to discuss all things related to relationships, from dating to divorce. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, please consider subscribing, ring that bell, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and let me know what you think in the comments. Also, if you would like to work with me professionally, I will leave those details linked below. And now, on to our story. This person writes, I, 29F, need advice on figuring out if the man, 29M, I'm dating is dangerous or not. And I tell you, as soon as I read that title, I screenshotted this so fast because I knew that I needed to discuss. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Women very often ignore that feeling that they might be in danger because they second guess themselves. And this story is a perfect example of that. I recently started going out with a guy I met on Hinge about 2 months ago. He's very kind and is a gentleman, which is something I found extremely attractive at first, especially after coming out of a rough dating drought. He is from a different country, so there are language barriers at times, but his English is honestly pretty natural to me. He insists on paying for all of our dates every time I offer to go Dutch. I recently took a trip for my birthday out of the country with my best friend, and he insisted on dropping both of us off and picking us up. It was extremely nice of him, especially considering he lives an hour away from both me and my friend. He also gifted me $100 for my birthday, which I definitely wasn't expecting. He also always brings me food whenever he visits and some of my favorite desserts as well. I've never had a guy do this much for me before, especially so early on in dating. Honestly, I was starting to think I was head over heels for this guy, but there have been a few red flags that really jumped out at me. Red flag 1. Okay, admittedly, I watch way too much true crime, but this one-off comment he made freaked the F out of me. We were laying in bed one night after some fun, just chatting. He lifts my arm up and starts stroking it, randomly saying, I want to cut off the muscle on your arm, fry it, and eat it. Hell no. I freaked out and asked him why he had said that. Then he laughed it off and said it was a joke. I was too tired and had work in the morning, so I brushed it off after repeatedly clarifying he was joking. Red flag 2. Tonight he texted me if he could come over to my place after work. I haven't seen him in a while, so I agreed but joked I may be a bit tired. He replies back, you can either leave the keys with me or give me the passcode. And I can't promise that I will not make advances on you while you're sleeping. This honestly creeped me the hell out for a second time, and I haven't responded. I don't know if he's trying to be funny or if I'm just too sensitive. But what I think is his sexy talk is strange AF. I don't know if it's a translation issue or language barrier thing, but now I'm low-key confused. In person, he's great, sans the arm thing, but I don't know, something just feels off to me. This is a very common issue that I see play out over and over again, and the story goes something like the way that the OP described. A woman meets a guy. The guy is very performative in his approach. So he does all the right things. All of the things that the OP was describing that this boyfriend did were all very performative. They're the types of things that anybody can do if they're trying to impress someone. Now, sometimes, yes, people do it out of the goodness of their heart. They do it because they're a good person. But other times there is a more sinister reason going on. It's the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde effect that I have talked about before, but that I see often. Dr. Jekyll is the sort of front-facing persona, the one with the good manners, who always does the right thing, who pays on dates, who's very chivalrous, who's very nice, who's buys gifts, etc., right? But sometimes that persona is hiding a dark secret, and that's the Mr. Hyde. The Mr. Hyde who will do terrible things. Now, I'm not going to speak on this person specifically and their nature. I don't know who they are and what they're like. But the fact that the OP has on 2 separate occasions felt very uncomfortable and had that gut instinct that something was off, that something wasn't right, that this person could potentially be dangerous, and then has ignored it and is trying to talk herself out of it because of all of the good things, this is a problem. You see, red flags are not meant to be balanced out with green flags. This is not a pro-con list situation. A red flag is a red flag. I don't care if there were 100 green flags, if there were 1,000 green flags. When you see a red flag, that usually means stop. Danger ahead. Do not proceed further. That's why it's a red flag. Now that's distinct from things that are not red flags, but that are, let's just say maybe less than ideal. Things that you would be willing to compromise on that aren't going to put you in danger or materially impact your life. For example, you might have a preference that somebody is taller than you or of a certain physical type, whatever, right? But those things can be balanced out by other positive attributes. And those are things that in some cases you might be willing to overlook or completely forget about because you realize they're not that important. That's not a red flag. A red flag is something like making a joke about taking advantage of you in your sleep. That's a red flag because what is usually going on here, and by the way, there are no jokes, okay? Unless it starts with like knock knock, who's there? It's not a joke. Usually what's going on here is that men like this, the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde types, okay? And I hate to have to say this all the time, but like, yeah, it's not all men. Okay, we're talking about a specific type of man. Men like this will usually start testing the waters to see how much you will accept by making jokes. Making jokes like the ones that the OP described. And it's often very easy for women, like I said, to overlook them or to find excuses or reasons why they're going to ignore those things. But I'm telling you that those are the first signs of the mask slipping. And usually if they can get away with the off-color joke or the kind of comments like that, their behavior will usually start to escalate. And now they will actually start to act upon certain things. You will start to see more and more Mr. Hyde coming out and less of Dr. Jekyll. And usually what happens is that it happens in circumstances when they are satisfied that the person that they're in a relationship with is not going to leave. They've become entrenched, they've become trapped. And women have often told me it's, as soon as we got married or as soon as we moved in together or as soon as I got pregnant or had our first child or whatever, that's when I saw the mask slip. That's when he dropped the act. Because again, remember, everything that she described as good was just performative. Anybody can do that. Good people can do it, bad people can do it too. It doesn't speak at all to this person's character. What does speak to his character a lot more clearly are those off-color comments, are the fact that he would suggest, even in a quote-unquote joke, that it would be somehow funny to consume her flesh or to take advantage of her when she is sleeping. Like, those types of things are not funny, and they are designed to see if you are tuned into your intuition or if you will walk blindly into danger. Because the real danger here is not even that he would actually do the things that he jokes about. The real danger is that she could end up trapped with somebody who would potentially harm her or control her, or really just not be the person that she thought he was. And once you're in it, okay, especially once you're in an abusive, controlling relationship, I promise you it is very difficult to get out. The system is not set up to help victims. It is not set up to favor the people who are being harmed, who are being abused, who are being controlled. It is an adversarial system, and it tends to favor the perpetrators, the liars, the manipulators, the narcissists, and that's of both genders. So it's not a man-woman thing. It is literally the system is failing all victims of all types because it's an adversarial system. And because the adversarial system is all about power and all about control, you're bringing in situations where you have those power dynamics already playing out in the relationship, and then you're amplifying them in the system. And that's why I make so many videos trying to warn women in particular, but anybody can benefit really, about listening to your gut, listening to your intuition, noticing those red flags. Don't stay until he proves you right, okay? It's okay to leave at the first sign of danger, at the first sign that something is off. Because if you feel like something is off in your gut, if that's what your gut is telling you, then don't second guess that. Just go with that, because that is the safest option. Like I said, you do not need to wait to be proven right, because by the time you are proven right, it is too late. So please take that as a sign, as a cautionary tale. It doesn't matter how many green flags there are. It doesn't matter what a man does or how great he is or how great he pretends to be or treats you. If you are starting to see warning signs, believe your intuition, believe that feeling, and walk away. Second guessing yourself. They are banking on you believing all of the good things and letting the good things overshadow the problems that you are starting to see, the warning signs. They do not want you trusting your gut. So I hope that story has helped some of you out there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have you ever been in a situation where your gut was telling you that you were in danger? And did you believe it? Or maybe did you not believe it? And what happened? I always love hearing from you. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you like this video, please consider checking out one of these videos, and I hope to see you there. Bye for now.